Hey, Will, this is Abdullah. We don't know each other. Could I tell you why I called in 30 seconds and you can decide if you want to speak longer?
Yeah, this is the fifth call I've had like this today, mate, though, so keep it quick.
Okay, I will. Normally, what I hear from companies like Sell Better is they're always on the lookout for new sponsors, but if they're honest, they're probably struggling with one of two things. The first one is they feel like they're spending a lot of time, creating content, hosting shows. They don't have enough time looking for new sponsors, and as a result, they feel like they're losing revenue. If that's not an issue, other times they are making the time to reach out to more sponsors, but they feel like they're speaking to a lot of people that are either not qualified or they're simply not the decision maker. And as a result, their sales cycles tend to be longer and sometimes deals are falling. Well, I get this feeling you're going to tell me you don't have any of these issues. I'm barking up the wrong tree and you want to wish me on the way.
I would say the second one is definitely something I've noticed. I didn't hear where you're calling from. What do you offer to help with that?
A really good question, Will. If I told you I wanted to come into Sell Better and be the person to prospect for these sponsors and get you in front of the right types of people, what would you say? Would you say that's something you'd want to explore?
I'd be open to making an intro, but I certainly wouldn't be the hiring manager for that role.
Oh, that's totally fine. I guess could I use this as more of a research call? Would that be fair?
That would be fair.
You mentioned that the second issue stood out to you a little bit more. How exactly are you going about this right now? Like, how are you getting in front of these?
Currently, we have James Buckley doing the majority of our outbound alongside.
He's really good.
Yeah, he is good. He's a lovely guy as well. He does a great job of that. And given that we're in a quite limited space, we know the accounts we should be trying to work with. Or when we get into that conversation, the expectations outline what we can deliver.
When you say expectations, like, could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sometimes people think those leads are going to be ready to buy, but they're not. Let's be real. You don't attend a webinar and suddenly go, okay, I'm ready to now buy Orem, the parallel guy. That's just not how most people's mindset works. Try to hire somebody outside to do this. And the person who would be decision making from that type of thing and hiring people would be Chris.
No.
Yeah.
Do you believe it would be a bad idea for you to introduce me to Chris?
I wouldn't want to put him in an awkward position. I'm willing to have a conversation with him, see if there is interest in hiring someone.
I guess what would the next steps be like?
I'll Slack him, see if he's got any interest of hiring anyone new. If there's not, I'll probably tell you and just say, hey, despite the fact that you've got great chops and I respect the cold call, it's just not something they're looking to do right now.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Will. I'm going to ask you one last question before I let you go.
Please do.
If you were a young guy and you were looking to break into sales and you wanted to start off an SDR, how would you go about getting hired?
I'd do exactly what you're doing right now. What you're doing right now is showing me that you probably could do the job in SDR, and if you could show it to a hiring manager, then they're going to be much more likely to take you seriously.
But I really appreciate that, Will. Thank you so much. And I know, could I ask you one last question? I promise this is the last one.
All right. You did say there was the last question last time, but I'll give you one more. Go ahead.
If there was anything that you could improve about the call that I just had with you, what would it be? I'm always looking to get better.
I think it was good, mate. Better than a lot of people who call me these days.
Thank you so much, man. This gives me a lot of confidence.
Man, get out there. You should have confidence. You're already outperforming most SDR teams I listen to calls on. Someone will be lucky to hire you.
That was the smoothest cold call I've ever heard. Shout out to Will Atkin for posting this on his LinkedIn, and shout out to Abdullah. Abdullah, that call was impeccable. What I loved about this call, his opener.
Hey, Will, this is Abdullah. We don't know each other. Could I tell you why I called in 30 seconds and you can decide if you want to speak longer?
Yeah, this is the fifth call I've had like this today, mate, though, so keep it quick.
Okay, I will.
He used a PBO, a permission-based opener, which in my opinion is the only way, the best way to open a cold call by asking for permission. Now, Will did give him permission, but told Abdullah to make it quick. For a lot of salespeople, this part of the call would go off the rails because that please make it quick would speed up the tonality, pacing, and delivery of that cold call. That was not the case here. Abdullah's tone throughout the entire call was chill, calm, friendly, never once got sped up. To me, that was the best part of this entire call. Abdullah's reason for the call or pitch is a framework that I use when I'm making my cold calls.
What I hear from companies like Sell Better is they're always on the lookout for new sponsors, but if they're honest, they're probably struggling with one of two things. The first one is they feel like they're spending a lot of time, creating content, hosting shows. They don't have enough time looking for new sponsors, and as a result, they feel like they're losing revenue. If that's not an issue, other times they are making the time to reach out to more sponsors, but they feel like they're speaking to a lot of people that are either not qualified or they're simply not the decision maker. And as a result, their sales cycles tend to be longer and sometimes deals are false. Will, I get this feeling you're going to tell me you don't have any of these issues, I'm barking up the wrong tree, and you want to wish me on the way.
Present a few challenges the person you're calling the prospect might have that you solve in language that a 5th grader could understand that does not have any industry buzzwords or jargon, and find out if any of those challenges resonate with the prospect. His ask to meet wasn't aggressive or specific, it was interest-based. He got hit with the common objection, hey listen, Abdullah, I'm not the right person, and he handled it perfectly by asking for permission again. That's a key tip here, guys, that Abdullah demonstrated throughout the call. He continued to ask for permission to proceed. Always do that on a cold call, not just at the start, but throughout. So he asked Will for permission to ask a couple questions to help in his research, and the questions he asked, another key tip here, the questions he asked were close-ended, not open-ended. On sales discovery calls, yes, you want to focus on open-ended questions. On cold calls, that is not the case whatsoever. You want to focus your questions on close-ended to direct that conversation. He then proved to Will that he did his research. He knew the company. He knew the other folks working with Will. Guys, this call was, like I said, impeccable, perfect. I have 0 critiques. Abdul is one of the best cold callers I've ever heard, and it's surprising to me that he's actually out in the market looking for his first SDR role. When he does land a role, which he probably will because this post went viral on LinkedIn, I'm sure he's getting hit up left or right for open SDR roles. He will be the best SDR on the phones at any big company, tech company out there. So shout out to Abdul. And check out this video right here. It's actually from the person Abdullah learned how to cold call from, and my God, is it impeccable. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you.